I did a whole interview. It was so good. And what was it? Like, we got 20 minutes into it, or we got through the whole thing. No audio.
No.
It's the worst. Welcome to the I Hate Social Media podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into the chaotic world of social media marketing with a twist of irony and a dash of humor. So whether you love or hate social media, join us on this journey as we uncover the secrets to making it work for you. Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Micah Derling with our good friend Jodi Anderson. At least she's becoming a good friend. I just met her today. But she's a good friend with our teammates, Zach and Amanda. So we are excited to have you on. How are you?
Oh, I love being here. Thank you so much.
She complimented my studio. My wife's grandfather used to say, flattery will get you everywhere. So
we're going to work that.
Okay. So, yeah, man. Okay. Tell us about photography. How did you get into it? Like why weddings and what drew you to that in particular?
So I really fell into photography. I can't emphasize that enough. I did photography in high school and really loved like film and developing in the darkroom. And then did a lot like with my babies, taking like lots of film photos of them. And then the digital age swept in.
Right.
And I, couldn't really afford like the new digital cameras. And so there was a hiatus for a while.
Okay.
And then my hubby bought me my first digital camera. It was a Nikon 650. And he bought it for a trip. We were taking a trip out west. And so that's kind of where it started. I just really wanted to know my camera. It bothered me that I just knew how to shoot in automatic.
Right.
I really hated that. And so I just started following other photographers or like friends that I knew that knew photography and just asking questions and just even reaching out on Facebook to random strangers and saying, I like your photo. Like, how did you shoot this?
That's
like,
so smart.
What do you, what, and I found that people were really like kind and would give me like free tips and free advice.
I feel like it's a weird thing, but I feel like women are so much better at that than men are.
Yeah.
Men are so much more prideful about it. Like, I don't need any help. What are you talking about? But women are just like, hey, I love that. How'd you do that?
Yeah.
And like, it would make our world a whole lot easier if we would just approach each other that way. Yeah. But I want you guys to know I've learned two things from her already. One is she's not a Canon girl. She's a Nikon girl.
I am a Nikon girl.
But she's not stuck up about it because she didn't say Nikon or something weird like that. So
do people
pronounce Nikon wrong?
That?
It's weird. I'm like, Nikon? You're not from Europe, pal. You don't get to pronounce things in a weird way. So
no, I'm going to pronounce it Lancaster County. I'm going to say, I'm going to say Nikon.
So you kind of already addressed the next question a little bit, which was what some of your initial challenges were in getting started with just using automatic and trying to switch out of that. Yeah. Was there any one person in particular, or I don't know, any source of information in particular that was most helpful in getting to a place where you were shooting in manual?
Yes. So I would say two very generous photographers who were well established in the business and who just, for some reason, were willing to just kind of like take me under their wing and basically give me free guidance.
That's awesome.
And then I did actually pay for a mentoring session.
Awesome.
With Heather Petersheim. Shout out to Heather. And then lots and lots of YouTube videos and photography tutorials. And I am not a particularly quick learner, especially when it comes to technology. So my learning process was painfully slow. My
wife's the same way. I don't think it says anything about your learning ability. I think what it speaks to is, number one, and this is a compliment, by the way, you probably tend to be a bit of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that, I'm going to own that.
So my wife's that way. But what seems like slow learning is careful crafting.
I like that.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's how she is. She's the same way. She would still call herself a slow learner, especially with technology. But that's because you're very careful about your craft. You want to do it right. You want to do it well, and you make sure ensure that you understand what you're doing. And that, I don't think that's bad. That's good.
Yeah.
So
it was a long process for me.
Yeah.
It was, it was like, it was humbling and
Why weddings? Like, okay, because there was a bird that whispered in my ear that said, you love weddings, you don't do babies. Like you don't want to, like, you specifically want weddings over like lifestyle photos. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
What gravitated you towards weddings? What happened there?
So I was super reluctant to shoot weddings, and had a girlfriend whose father was getting remarried. It was going to be a very small, very intimate wedding. Cool. And she reached out and said, I really want you to do this. I was like, oh, no. I don't do weddings. I said, too much editing, too much stress. And she said, no. She's like, you're going to do this. And I said, okay. And at that point, I did not even know Flash.
Okay.
I was just learning Flash. Like, I brought speed lights.
Yes.
And looked at them and figured out how to put the batteries in. And was like, oh, okay.
I love this so much. Okay, I got to break on just real quick. Okay, viewers, let me tell you something. Every creative is always doing this on some level, learning on the job. It's 100% of the time. There's always something new. You're like, I don't know what the crap I'm doing right now. Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
You start somewhere. And if you say no until you're ready, you're going to miss the best teaching opportunities.
Absolutely. Yes, that's right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah. So I shot that wedding and really loved it, and shot another one a couple months later, just somebody that was kind of just doing a kind of throw together last minute. Yeah. And that
sealed the deal for you.
Yeah. I didn't look back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh man, that's awesome. You just fell in love with it.
I think for me, it's the momentum of the day.
Okay.
And I think surprisingly, because I tend to be more of like an anxious personality. Yeah. I found that I really loved having to think quickly on my feet.
Oh my word. Okay.
I think it was kind of like empowering to like be put in situations and have to strategize and then have it be successful. It's like a nice high.
Jodi, we have a name for that. There's a name for it. It's called adrenaline junkie. She's an adrenaline junkie. Oh man. I can totally not relate to that. So okay. When I'm on a shoot and something starts to go wrong, this is my brain. Oh no. Who did this? I did. This is my fault. Who's going to fix it? I have to fix it. Are they going to notice that I'm fixing it? All the things. I have like 5 conversations happening within 5 nanoseconds in my mind. And it works out usually. But man, I love that you are so like cool as a cucumber, and that more than that you are just exhilarated by just the changing and evolving process of the day. Is it, I guess you would say that maybe compared to some other types of photography you could do, you are, what really drives you is kind of that on the spot creativity. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. And definitely the relational aspect. Yeah. I just love like to connect with my couples. Yeah. And I just then feel a very maternal role to them and just want to like offer them just care like during that day. And like my couples are incredible.
There's a lot to be said for your role in making sure the day goes off without a hitch. And I mean, not that everything depends on you, but certain things can and do. Like you, especially with your experience, can kind of say, this isn't a big deal. Yep. Like you might see her starting to react or whatever and go, no, this is okay. This is what we're going to do. And you're like kind of holding her hand through that process.
Yep.
That's cool.
Because nothing is a big deal on wedding day. We just say,
easy peasy.
We got this.
That's good.
We're running 2 hours behind. Yeah.
That's cool.
All weddings run 2 hours behind.
That's cool. Okay. I mean, so yeah, I mean, there's kind of a mentoring role for you there, maternal mentoring role. Yeah, I like that.
I think so.
Now talk to us a little bit about social media. How important is social media to what you do?
I think very.
Okay.
I think very important. Yeah.
How do you use it? Like what are the types of things, like how does it work? All right. I mean, you're putting your work out there. What do you think the brides do with that? couples? What do they do with that?
I think it's just a nice, quick showcase.
Yes.
For a potential client to click on and scroll through, and it gives them just a nice general overview of my style and what I'm shooting.
That's right.
And then if they want to delve further, then the link's there to go right to the website.
I think that's probably, to me, one of the most important features is that they know going in what your style is. Exactly. They've seen your work. They see what you do. They love it. I'm sure most businesses wish they could have that. I think it's critical. Yeah. In the photography world to be on Instagram, have a strong Instagram presence. And is that the bigger, like between Facebook, Instagram, and all these things, is that the bigger avenue for you?
It really is. And I think it just comes down to like demographics, like age. I think TikTok and Instagram are, where this generation is like. Are you using TikTok? I am
thinking about it. So I think that's entirely fair. We're not on it at all. But I think at some point in the future, probably near future, and I don't mean like next week or next month or even this year, but maybe in like sometime into next year, we need to start thinking about like our own TikTok strategy, because the truth of the matter is, like my daughter is 14 years old. She's on TikTok almost exclusively. Yeah. She's not on Facebook. Yeah. She's not on Instagram. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. And we're going to actually talk about this later when Zach interviews me. I really think that like Facebook is the Gen X and older crowd. They're very comfortable there. Yep, absolutely. I'm in the Gen X group, so I relate to that. But late Gen X and millennials love Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then I think TikTok is, what would it be? Like young Gen Z and younger. It's wild how it is. So we will have to figure out how to adapt probably over the next 5 years into that and how that works. Yeah. And I'm seeing the benefit right now in finding somebody now to manage my social media. Oh. I'm ready to pass that off to, somebody, who can really work that to my best advantage. Yeah, absolutely. So, it's what they do. They're focused on it, and they know what you're after, what you need, what needs to be done for you. That's huge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my daughter does not want to answer all my TikTok questions. I think it is time to. You're probably right. Hand that off. So you use your kids too, though. Yeah. Can I hashtag this? That's right. There's some free slave labor, but let me tell you, it feels free. It really does. What I mean? I think we've earned that. I think so. Oh, yeah. Especially as a mom. I mean, you gave birth. So, that's you've earned it for sure. Okay, so tell us. Okay, so this is one reason I was actually really excited about this interview, not because it's a positive thing, because it's clearly not. You got hacked. Yeah. Tell us. I mean, what happened? Do you know how it happened? No. Okay, so tell us what happened then. So I do know that I did not have a secondary authentication. Yes, on my Instagram. What is that called? What is that? Second verification or two-tier? Two-tier. Yeah. So I did not have two-tier. Yeah. To all the listeners. Get two-tier. Listen, it might inconvenience you. You're about to hear something that's way more inconvenient. Yeah. So one morning, I got a text from Maya, and she's like, Mama, she's like, your Instagram is hacked and you've lost most of your content. And so, when I went on, just my pictures were just before my eyes, slowly disappearing. Wow. Just one after another. And then over the course of a couple hours, they were all gone. Now, you were you able to recover the account and stop it at some point, or? Yeah, no. So I had actually been locked out of my account and my password had been changed. Wow. So at that point, reached out to Instagram, and Maya and I kind of talked through it, and she's like, hey, she said, at this point, she said, I think it's more effort to try to recover this account.
And she said, I would just recommend you just count it as a loss and you start over.
Okay. She says that.
Yes.
What are you thinking? Are you like, did you conclude she's probably right? Or were you kind of thinking like, I hate, like, was it one of those, I hate this, you're right?
Yeah, I think it was. I was like, really? Like, who wants to hack a middle-aged wedding photographer's Instagram? It's personal.
Yeah.
It feels
invasive, I think, is a word that's been thrown around here today.
It feels like watching like your newborn being like.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's terrible. So you started over. You started from scratch. How did it work? I mean, what'd you do? Was there a process, or were you like, this is it, we're just going to do it?
Well, I put a funky little underscore at the end of Anderson, which really irritates me. Had a nice, clean Instagram handle before then. And then Maya just kind of made just a little bit of a post. She used just like one of my photos and then put like new page.
Okay.
Kind of like signifying like, hopefully that I'm not a new photographer.
Right.
But it's like a new page. I think that like was the worst part for me.
Right.
Was like getting inquiries, new inquiries, and having an Instagram account with like 100 followers, which was very. So in the beginning, I would get a new inquiry and I would kind of go through this little spiel like, yep, you can check out photos on my Instagram. My Instagram was hacked in June, so I have a brand new page. And after a while, I was just like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's right.
Your Instagram account doesn't define your business.
Nope.
And, you know.
That's right.
Just move forward.
Man, I think that's really good advice. You were wronged, you know, that's a fact. But like, as you said, at some point, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do my business and focus on moving forward rather than on dwelling on this thing. That's hard.
It's hard because I think this is where, social media works, to a disadvantage.
Right.
Is, you know, when our confidence in ourselves and, a reflection of how, successful we are is falling in those Instagram follower numbers.
Yeah.
And like for me, that was definitely something that I had to look at and say, just no, focus on the work.
Yeah.
Just do what you do.
Being bigger than the number that's attached to your actual account. And
maybe there are photographers out there who just have a better handle on that. But for me, just having confidence in my abilities was something that took longer. Yeah. And again, like Instagram is like a love-hate relationship, like for me.
I think one of the hardest struggles for anyone like we're creatives, right? So whether you're a photographer, a videographer, or something in between, is imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. And you always feel like, there's so many people that are so much better than I am, or worse, as I get older, is the people who are it feels like they're just as good, they're younger, and they charge less.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, what I hope and pray is that clients can see me and think there's a lot of experience that comes with that. And so this person or this business owner knows something's going to go sideways. He's going to know what to do, and it won't be his first time.
Yes.
So I think that matters. And hopefully that also means it's worth a premium.
Absolutely.
I think it is.
I see that with every wedding I shoot. I see the benefit of experience. And I think to have Instagram work, I think, you know, two things. Know your work, feel confident in your work, be at a point where you're comfortable in what you're turning out. And I think also knowing your goals. Yeah. What are your specific goals for your business? My goals may not be another photographer's goals. Right. And so just to know, what do you want out of your business? How much work do you want? What are the clients, that you're trying to attract? And when you know those two things, I think you can stay more centered.
That's very good.
Just a little bit more, less influenced by like the fluctuation of Instagram. And I love to follow other photographers on Instagram. And I especially love like following other photographers whose style is very different from my own.
Yeah.
I think creatively, I just really enjoy that. But again, just coming back to knowing this is my work.
Yes.
This is what I like to deliver. This is a reflection of my creativity.
There's a little bit of being comfortable in your own skin and knowing this is who I am. This is what I do. And guess what? My customers, my clients love it.
Right.
My couples are coming to me because they love what I do. There were other options out there. They chose me for a reason. So I'm going to do what I do and be awesome at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, that's using social media to its best.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on with that. Let me ask you something, because this is a question we've kind of kicked around a lot. You're the wedding industry, right? When you're wedding photography business, it's a one-time deal, right? So how does social media work for you when like your interaction with a customer or client? Couple? You call them couples. I
call them couples.
Okay, that makes more sense and it sounds less sanitized.
Sometimes I say, "Oh, you're my babies."
Oh my goodness! Can my wife and I get remarried? That's endearing. I like that a lot. So, although we're not young enough for that, I don't think. No. Like, you're my brother and sister. Less endearing. So, no, but how do you manage a social media account when your interactions are really going to be a one-time thing? Does it change your approach at all?
That's a good question.
I mean, you probably don't view it that way. Like the way you approach it is different from us. I would, if I'm just totally speaking sideways, just say, but it seems like your approach to social media would be more about like acquisition and showcasing. I think
yes,
it's less about developing a customer base.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that's how it works. So, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, and because of that, it makes a lot more sense to me too. When people come to see your material, your work, they must be on some level asking themselves like, I love this. What do I love about it? And start thinking if we, for our wedding photographer, I'd love to if she would do it, and thinking in those terms. So for you, it's almost like it's a funnel, right? It funnels people down to you so that you can start having conversations and see where it goes. Yeah.
And I hope that my Instagram showcases a lot of variety.
Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of different couples. I've worked with a lot of different vendors.
Yes.
I've worked at a lot of different venues. And so like, I want my Instagram to like reflect that, hey, without looking at the number of followers, this is my experience.
Yeah.
It's, I'm not fresh out of the gate.
That's right.
So I hope that indirectly, like my page gives my couples just that awareness, like, oh, okay, she's been around the block a few times. Like
exact phrase that was in my mind. She's been around the block. Okay, this isn't her first rodeo.
In the best sense, yeah.
In the
best sense.
Different block, yes. So in the best sense, you have, but truly, you have experience, and it really matters. We were just talking about it earlier, like when you say like you're my babies, or like you have that kind of maternal instinct toward them. That matters. If you've ever seen, and my wife and I have been to some weddings, and you see some bad days, like it is helpful to have somebody that's at your right hand that can like say, we're 2 hours behind. All weddings are 2 hours behind. Yeah. Just make them feel comfortable.
Yeah. And my best reviews are reflective of that. Like those are the reviews that mean the most to me. Like when I have a couple that, says, hey, we really felt like Jodi was present with us. Yeah. And my best moments, like one of my best moments like happened last year. I had a bride call me during the rehearsal. She called me during the rehearsal from her bathroom stall. And I was like, are you okay? Is it going okay? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I'm just so excited. She's like, Jodi, it's happening. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, get out of the bathroom stall. Get back to rehearsal. Good. But it was just a really sweet moment.
Your relationship had gotten to a point where you're the one she called.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. It just meant it just meant so much. And yeah. And like, that's what I want to deliver. I want to, that's what I want to like develop like with my couples.
All right. So what are your tips for up and coming photographers and other business owners? What do they need to know?
I think one, diverse content is important.
Speak to that. You were talking about there's vendors, venues. What else?
And couples.
And couples. Yeah.
Just the diversity in my couples. Like,
that's great.
Lots coming from just lots of different places in life, and celebrating that. Being an all-inclusive photographer is very important to me. Like, I want everyone who, comes to feel welcome and to feel valued. And I want to value my other vendors that I work with. Like, the wedding day takes a lot. It takes a lot of people's work and creativity. And so, everybody is important on wedding day.
That's great.
And so to reflect some of that on my Instagram page. So I would say, yeah, it's great to post those epic, veil shots, and some nice flash creativity shots, but don't forget to put the moments that you capture on your page, and to make that relational connection with potential clients.
All right. So now I have some questions that are just my techie curiosity. How many cameras or lenses are you carrying around on that day?
So I work with 2 cameras.
Okay.
My second shooter works with 1 camera.
Okay. So you have 3 for the whole thing? 3,
which I feel like I can't see ever needing more.
I don't think so either. I feel like we're really well equipped, and I feel like feasibility wise, I feel like that's about the most we can handle. Yeah, right. Well, because the rest is glass then. I mean,
yes, lots of glass.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of heavy glass. Lots of glass.
That's so legitimately true. Heavy glass. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So my second shooter, who's also one of my very best friends. So Karina usually works with our prime lenses.
Yes.
And so I make sure that she has...
Because she only has 1 camera.
Yes. So she usually has like the 3 primes that we use the most. She has like an 85, a 50, a 35.
Okay, I was so curious. I was like, you get much beyond 85, it gets a little unwieldy. But like, yeah, okay,
yeah. So she's equipped with all of those and is super great at knowing, like when she needs to switch out. And I often will joke with her. I'm like, you have the best lenses. Like, she really
you're
does.
Probably rocking a 24-70.
Yes, absolutely.
That's 24 millimeter to 70 millimeter.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which is actually like my least favorite lens.
What do you like? That's surprising. But what do you I mean, it's not shocking. It's just...
Yeah, it's crucial for the versatility.
Yep.
It's in the getting ready space.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, you got to have it.
You got to be, yep. Because it's stuff that's happening in this moment.
Yep.
In and out. And then it's not going to be the best tech sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, I think it's like a 2.8.
Okay.
So like, while it's a great lens and it does its job,
right.
It's not shooting with that beautiful wide open aperture like Karina gets.
Yeah.
Like Karina gets
creamy bokeh is what we say.
And that's what Karina gets. So I'm like, oh.
No, so what other lens do you use on a day like that?
So I then also use my 70 to 200.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
So 24-70, 70-200. Just so you guys know, can you grab that? This is for Canon, but it's on the shelf. You can see it. She's carrying this around all day.
Yeah, we call her Big Betty. Yeah, she would be Big Betty.
And it's a must. Yeah, it's a must have.
It is. That hangs on me all day.
Oh gosh, with 2 other cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop complaining about your primes, Karina. So this is our version of a Big Bertha. I mean and it's not light, okay? No. It's just heavy, man.
No.
So yeah, you definitely get a workout.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a long day. And then I also like to have on me, I like to have a 16 to 30.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with that one. You gotta pay attention to what you're doing.
Yep.
And sometimes when I start shooting really fast,
Yeah.
I get a little ahead of myself.
Yeah.
But I think especially for like dance floor shots.
Oh yeah. Right on.
Yeah. That's usually when I pull that out.
Okay.
It's usually when I pull that out, or occasionally like during the ceremony when I want like just a really nice macro, a 60 macro.
That's cool.
And I love to switch that one on and off in the getting ready room as well. So
that's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
So okay, would you say when it came to learning Flash, and I guess we're going to probably wrap it up here, right? We're getting when you started using Flash and all that stuff, would you say that the photographers that you were talking to were like super helpful with learning how to use Flash, or was that trial and error?
Yeah. So for Flash, I had to go off on my own and do some courses, do some workshops.
Yeah.
It was a painfully long trial and error process for me.
Yes.
Again, I'm not super tech savvy.
It's hard. People don't understand like how it's complicated.
It's very complicated. Yeah. And so to be at a point where I know how to use it, I'm confident in it. And I think Karina did that whole learning process with me.
Awesome.
So to be able to use it now and to feel like we're using it consistently and well feels amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we're looking at experience and we're looking at Lancaster County being a hotbed of photography, I feel like you need to know Flash to be a wedding photographer.
Oh, you're right. 100%. Yes. Impossible to do it without. Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, you could probably do the ceremony, I guess, maybe, but you start getting to even creatively, you're kind of missing out. Yeah.
And just you're in so many, you just never know what venue you're walking into.
That's right. Well, and like you said at the beginning, it was one of the things you loved, but being able to adapt and adjust, you can't if you don't have the right. They're just tools at the end of the day. I'm not a gearhead, actually. It sounds like I am, but I'm not. They are just tools, but you got to have the tools. Yeah. So that's really great. Thank you so much for your time. Did we miss anything, guys? No. So,
that was so fun.
Oh my goodness, it was super good, and I really appreciate it, guys. We'll catch you next time at some point soon. Zach's actually going to interview me, so I'm actually nervous because I don't like being interviewed. I like being the interviewer, so wait for that. I will see you soon. Bye.